Hi, welcome to another Drumsense training session. I'm going to do another track from Phil Maturano's Working the Inner Clock book. I'm getting a lot of success with students who have reached a certain level, who are starting to get interested in reading, and just also interested in playing at a higher level, like soloing around hits and things like this, just getting their teeth into some tracks. And Working the Inner Clock is ticking a lot of boxes in this respect. Obviously, the book does what it says on the tin. You're looking at shifting phrases that compel you to really concentrate on where beat one is as the phrase moves along the bar. But also just things like simple setups for hits, phrasing with set patterns, where there's a couple of ways you can look at things. Rather than talk about it, I'll demonstrate what I mean. Here's the basic groove for this track. Sorry, this track is called Andthropology, which is a tip of the hat to the jazz tune Andthropology by Charlie Parker, which, for those of you who are not familiar with that tune, is basically it's How High the Moon, with a more complicated melody to it. And Charlie Parker called it Andthropology. And the other reference in this title is to the fact that we are dealing with the shifting and of the bar. So we hit one and, then we hit two and then three and then four and, as I'll demonstrate in a moment. So the pun is Andthropology. This is the basic groove from it. Let's just have a listen to this. Now, the groove is obviously written out. It's quite a nice one to try and get together, because it's easy one to hurry. So unlike the previous track from this book, there's much less ambiguity over the groove. You can actually play what's written, and it will sound pretty good. Then we have a section after what's labelled the first verse. You've got a section labelled with horns. And then you've got a section without horns, which is labelled a verse. And then on the next line, you have the and of one being hit, with no real indication of how you're going to hit it. You have to make that up for yourself. And then on the next line, we hit the and of two, followed by 4/8 notes for the final 8th bar. So we're going like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4, 1 and then the next time we go 1, 2 and. Now, with a lot of people that I do this with, although their lessons are a high standard, this is quite often the first time they've done this. So what I try to do to start with, to keep it quite simple. So I'm getting to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Now, as the tune progresses through, we get to there's a sign, which is also a chorus. There's another verse, and then there's another section where we're hitting the and of 3 and the and of 4. And of course, what is good fun to do here is try to set those up, because there's a bit more space. So we're going 1, 2, 3. And then finally, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which takes you to the second page. Which then brings us to a section which has a lot of kind of 16th note figures. And we're just going to listen to that, actually. Let's see. I'll just quickly find it. coming up to it now. So this is all written above the bar line, the implication being that you have to work out how you're going to play it. Let's have a listen to it first. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there is a little 5/4 bar at the end. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play the figures on the snare drum. Whoops, just wind it back a tiny bit. Here we go. Now, you can't see the chart from where you are, but there's a 5/4 bar at the end. So the last bar is da 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 da, and the little 16th note triplets at the end. Da. That's beat 5. Now, what I have great fun with doing with the students is getting. Oh, sorry, I should say that this figure appears twice in the chart. Once there, and once right at the end. When you do a DS and you go back and do that figure at the end again. And what's quite good fun to do is to get the student to play the figures the first time like groove based. So ba 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 becomes. So basically keeping 8 notes going on the hi-hat and playing the figure between the bass drum and the snare drum. Kind of thing. And then right at the end of the chart, when you have to play the figure again, you can move it around the drums. This is not a something you must do, something that the track tells you must do. It's just a good exercise in musicality for a drummer, because we have the license to maybe keep it sort of subdued the first time, and then at the end we can play around with it a bit more, make it a bit more exciting. Then, of course, there is the section where the coda, when you do the DS, you go back to here, you play these 4 bars twice, these 4 bars twice. You go to the coda. Now, this is a bit of a challenge for most students, where the hit moves along the bar, every bar, and then it moves back. So it goes 1 and 3, 4, 1, 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and then it moves backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3 and 1, 2 and 1. You see what I mean? Sorry, I'll count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2 and 4. 1 and 3, 4. And as you can probably tell from me just doing it then, the real big issue here is to count. If you count it, you get your student to count it, you won't get it wrong. And from there it goes to the what is labelled as the horn break, which I've just discussed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it all the way through now. Things will make themselves obvious in terms of hitting the 1 and, hitting the 2 and, going back to the groove, hitting the 3 and, hitting the 4 and, do the horn figure, which we'll do as a groove, then doing the DS, and then doing the 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, 4 and, 1, 2, 3, 4 and, 1, 2, 3 and, 1, 2 and, 1 and section, which I will endeavour to count through to make it obvious where I am. And then we'll play the horn figure at the end around the kit. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. This is a very nice exercise for the students. Like I say, when they're playing to a certain level, this will tick a lot of boxes for them. Right, let's have a go. The first 4 bars are nothing for the drummer. Tacit, as we say. Okay, good. There you go. I was so busy trying to explain and concentrate on doing the section where the hits increase. I missed the first one, which you may have noticed. So I was furiously counting and then forgot to hit the cymbal. But I got all the others. Okay, there you go. That's Andthropology. Phil Maturano, Working the Inner Clock. We'll do some more from that as the months go on. But you should have some fun with that.